Hi everyone, so this is an eye review for Ireline. So what we see here is a true brown eye, and the way you can see is that there's no blue in it at all, there's no green. Everything is uniform brown, but just different shades of brown. And you can see that right around the pupil it's the darkest, just like we see in all the other eyes, and that just signifies that the GI tract needs some cleaning and needs some work, basically. And the easiest way and the most foolproof way to clean it out is to just eat more raw foods. I mean, there's no getting away from that. Yeah, you could take herbs. Yeah, you can do colon cleanses and all of this type of stuff, but you can clean it out. But again, you have a meal every few hours. So if you're eating the wrong foods, you're gonna just start dirtying it up again. So number one thing is make sure that your diet is on point as much as it possibly can be. So go to raw foods and try to research recipes for dinners, because I find that specifically dinner time is when people mostly fail, and that's the case with me as well. And there's a lot of the reasons for that. There's a family reason for that, where maybe your family members are not on the raw food diet or close to the raw food diet, and you kind of have to accommodate them, and they tempt you with cooked food that you're used to and that you like, so that can become a kind of an issue. Or maybe you just don't know any recipes and you don't want to be having like little things like dips and smoothies and that for dinner, because obviously that's not filling, right? So try to figure out, depending on your taste preference, what the types of foods you like. Try to figure out a raw food alternative for that. And then around the dinner, I would just say just go with smoothies, juices, dips. All of that stuff works. For dip, if you don't want to make your own, just use like something like hummus or a guacamole. That's a really easy dip to either make yourself or buy in the store. Um, and really, the hummus, I don't know, the hummus I tried to do myself at home and I can't master it. So I've tried to follow all the videos. I don't know, it just doesn't turn out to be the same. But the guacamole is pretty easy. So, and then you can use any kind of veggie for like to dip it with, right? Instead of like chips or something like that, right? So that's automatically you eating pretty much fully raw, right? So things like that. And then like I said, figure out the dinner. There's raw soups that you can make. um, and Tanny Raw has lots of soup recipes, and when you actually blend it, if you have a high-speed blender, they start to get warm. So if they're below, I think it's 105 degrees, if they're below that they're still considered raw, and they will taste warm, but at the same time they're still retaining all of the living power of the vegetable. So it's a soup, but you're not actually heating it, you're just blending it, and through the blending process it becomes hot, not hot but like warm. So it's a little bit better, especially for winter time. So so that's what I would say is number one, is to clean out that GI and it's not like a one-time process, it's a continuous process. If you want to take herbs, if you want to do colon cleanses, it would definitely help, but you do have to put the work in. Okay, so right around the pupil we have that dark brown GI. Then right after we have a lighter area, which I don't think this is your true eye color either. This is just the lymph, but it's in a lighter shade. So this is a cute shade, and then right around the GI, that's a more chronic shade, meaning that you've been acidic for a while. So this light kind of light orangey brown, I would say that the color, that's going to start to go away, and your eyes are going to become a uniform brown color. Kind of the color you see closer to the edge of the iris. Right, do you see how the edge is kind of black? Almost? Right? It's like a very dark line, and that signifies a skin ring, by the way, meaning that your skin is doing the job that your kidneys should be doing. Because again, if you're eating foods that are not appropriate for us as human beings, then the kidneys have hard time filtering, because they're not really they're meant to filter like fruits and vegetables. They're not meant to filter whatever kind of dish, you know, so with a million ingredients and, you know, the different cooking processes and all of this. They're meant to filter much less toxic stuff, much simplified foods, right? So when they can't do the job, and especially after a while when the body has been acidic for a while, then the skin takes on that job, and it becomes the skin's job to filter it out. So you might be getting skin problems and things like that as well, and that's a direct cause of it. If you stop eating these kind of foods, your skin will improve. For myself, you can watch my earlier videos of like my actual videos where you can see my face, and watch the very first few, and then watch later how much my skin changed. I swear to you, I've done nothing. The only thing I've done is actually getting rid of all of my creams and stuff like that, but it was over time, so I don't think that made a difference in just getting rid of the stuff, because I found that as I started to go to raw, I no longer needed to use them because my skin was improving on its own. So they just kind of fell away. But you can see, without creams, without doing anything, just eating raw foods and getting hydrated, because all of these foods have a lot of high water content as well, that the skin just starts to glow. It just becomes like it's a different skin, you know, basically. So anyways, so right next to that dark skin ring in your iris, you see like a brown, like a regular kind of neutral brown shade. That's probably the true color of your eye. Because I find that when you get toxicity in your eye, and everybody obviously has some, right? That it starts with the GI ring right around the pupil and starts to go out. So the GI ring is always the most severe. Then right next to it is going to be the more lighter acute, because it has to, just like in the body, right? Like it goes from the GI, where that's where the food first goes when you're eating it, goes towards the organs. And same thing in the iris, it goes from the GI towards the rest of the iris, where on the iridology diagram all the other organs are located. So, and then past that is the skin. So right where the organs on the GI kind of diagram, they don't really end there, but right towards the edge of the iris, that's where usually it didn't get to there yet, basically, and that's where you see more of a true eye color, I find. So, but definitely the situation is not so bad. Don't worry about it. Just go to the raw foods, learn the recipes, and just basically be excited about this life change. And like I posted a video of one person's eyes changing over the 2 years, so you can see from there that it takes a while to see a difference. And it's not so much, I find people focus on the eyes so much, but it's not really about the eyes. It's about your whole body changing. And when you're much older, and you're not having health problems that everybody else around you is having, that's the win, that's the real true win. It's, and the eyes are just kind of an indication of where you are in your health. And thank you so much for sending me your eye pictures. And if you guys would like me to review your eyes, I'll link all of that down below. I also have a book for sale, an ebook of how to go from a regular diet to a raw food diet, and I'll also link that below as well. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.